raising children.
Let's talk about it a little bit because
heavy topic.
We've recently started talking about these things.
I hate that topic.
We're growing up.
Yep. Quite quickly as well.
Some of us are closer to having kids than others. Like I'm still far away. You're probably a lot closer because you're in a stable relationship, right?
With myself.
With yourself.
But there's obviously friends of us that are in relationship. Yeah, it's a tough topic.
Yeah. Well, we have a few bullet points for it. Yes.
So I'm only speechless for a minute because the more you think about it, the more you stress about it. Yeah. And when it comes to raising children, it's a topic you have to it's a topic you think you need to master to perfection before you have the kids.
Yeah.
It's a lie. You don't have to. You know, usually my mom said it once that you learn on your first kid and then second and third is easy.
Yeah, like with everything, like with this podcast, right? We started and you learn from it.
Exactly.
But I think there has to be better time to start, right? So I think there's worse times when you can have kids and there's better times when you can have kids. And I think that highly influences how they're being raised. And I've mentioned it to you today, and maybe we can start off with this one. And it's whether you believe that the age of the parent has a significant impact on how the kid is raised.
Age nowadays is the most significant topic. So it seems like on the internet, no one really mentions, the financial situations, work situations, where you live, what you do, what's your plans, aspirations. They love talking about age though. They're and it's borderline very controversial. If you're 30 and you have a kid, how can you have a kid, first kid at 30, you're old now, wow, your kid's going to be 20, you're going to be 50. If you're 20, they're going to be like, you're young.
When is the right time?
Yeah,
right?
When you're 25, it's like, no, you still got a lot of time to have fun, mid-20s, enjoy yourself while you can. But then you're 25 and you don't have kids, they'll be like, oh, but what are you waiting for? It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Society makes you want to please everyone.
Which is impossible.
And you can't.
No.
And people, by wanting to please everyone, they fail to please themselves.
Of course.
Right. So, and this goes into every single topic out there. People want to please one another rather than pleasing yourself. And then they fail. And then who's to blame? Yourself. Well done. You just failed.
Yeah.
So, age, a significant factor.
I think there's two. I think it goes into two different areas, because one thing you've mentioned that I found very interesting is financial. And I think your financial situation matters. Like, it's quite a big factor, which I think age has an impact on. Because often the older you are, the more you earn. So age, in terms of financials, age definitely does matter.
Yep.
But then another point we have to cover is your actual mental maturity and emotional maturity. And this is a totally different factor, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe we can talk about the financial first.
What else my vape? Okay, anyways.
Maybe we can talk about the financial first, just because you mentioned it before.
Financial. So age-wise financial, you're right. You want to... Oh, I found my vape. So, financial. Age-wise financial is, you're right, the older you get, usually the more experienced you are at work. Usually you tend to have a bit more pay. Maybe if you started some company work or your desired career at 22, 23 to 25.
And also you most likely own a lot more things, right? Because if you're, for example, if you're like 16, let's say, which some people do get pregnant at that age, you're most likely don't have a stable job.
Nope.
You don't have a car.
Nope.
You may not even have a license.
Nope.
You may not have any of these things. And
you have nothing.
And that means not only now you have the kid to raise, but also yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't have these things in place. Whereas if you're, let's say, 25, for example, and let's say you're not making much more money than you were 18, for example, but you most likely already have such a better foundation set in place. So straight away, you're better, right? So you just progress.
Even controlling your finances as well, because you might have money at 16, but you don't really know how to move your money around to kind of keep it, not lose it, you know. There's also these factors of when you're young, you want to have fun. So financially maturing is important, you know, being able to save some money, being able to pre-plan the money, schedule money, you know, you know that you have enough money for this, enough money for that, enough money for your bills, etc. So age also comes into the financial situations, and financial situation when you hit the later 20s and you're more comfortable, everyone will kind of push you towards have the kids. Yeah. But sometimes you're in a stuck in this zone of I want more money, like
greedy.
Yeah, greediness. Sometimes for good reasons, because if you want more money, so if you have a kid, you can spend more on them, or, you know, take more time off, then I understand. But, you know, take a step back, think about it, right? The kid is not in the end of the world, you know. Back in the days, families had 2 kids and still both parents working, you know. They had to manage somehow. But financial is a big situation, and I understand how it puts stress, you know. What was the other topic I said? Financial and
the mental.
That one's heavy.
That was my favourite.
That one's my worst.
I think that was the most significant one.
That's why I don't like it.
Because financial is one thing.
Yeah, money comes and goes anyway.
Money comes and goes. Family's there to help you.
Yes.
But money does not raise the kid.
Yes. I mean, yes.
Yeah. I think you have to be emotionally mature.
And available.
All these things. You have to experience life in order to know what builds a character, what struggles you need to go through in order to get better.
Yeah.
You need to generally just live life through the easiest and the toughest moments, which I think do happen through your teenage years and your early 20s, right?
Yeah.
And I think you need to go through these years to then, when you have a kid, you can identify situations which will allow that kid to learn those values.
Yeah.
Right? If you're too young, you still haven't experienced enough life to then be able to show someone else.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Of course.
Right?
Of course.
And I think that emotional maturity is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, and the problem I have with it is, like we said on the first episode, I said with regards to knowledge, the more I know, the less I know.
Oh yeah.
And the same happens with this mental, stability, being mentally mature. Same thing, you know. The more I think about potentially having kids one day, the more I think about what I can give non-materialistic to them. You know, how do I raise them up? How do I ensure that they're on correct paths, you know? The problem is you'll never know.
You never know, but...
You'll stress yourself every single day, but you never know.
But you know what's a good indicator? The position you're currently in your life, right, will highly dictate how you're going to raise a kid.
Yeah.
Because I know you, and you're doing pretty well with life, right? So I know you would be able to pass on some good values onto the kids.
Yeah, I believe.
And I know a lot of people your age that are doing nothing.
Oh yeah.
Right? They can't take care of themselves.
Not to name a few.
Yeah, they can't take care of themselves.
Yeah, so exactly.
I can't expect them to be able to raise a kid.
And it's funny because these people usually have kids before people like me or like you.
Yeah.
And they will have these kids and they make exactly the same mistakes. And you know, it's sometimes it's mind-boggling for me how people have this sort of neglect. Like, you know, having a kid is probably number one most important, not for everyone, but for me, for example, it seems like number one most important thing in your life.
It's if you look at life, right? Yeah. I always look at it. It's like everything you do around. So, for example, like this podcast, for example, right? That's a side quest.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like a lot of the things you do are side quests, and I think the main quests of life.
If everyone subscribes, it will be a main quest.
If the main quest, having a kid, having a family, right? Having home, building home, right? And it's one of those main things. I think if you ever thought about the purpose of life, that would be one of them.
Yeah.
Right? And it's such an important thing, and you don't want to mess it up.
No. And there's no clues. There's no clues because you're living your own life.
Yeah.
You can't live off someone else's life, like we said in episode 1, because it just doesn't work then.
Yeah.
So now yourself living your own life, having your main quest, you don't have second try.
No.
And this is the hardest part, you know. It's not like you're putting a Minecraft on creative
You can't
mode.
reset.
No, there's no reset, there's no new world, you know, there's no start again from scratch or restart, you know. You have one chance. Well, you can have multiple chances, you can have multiple kids. However, you still want all of them to be kind of like, you know, on the right path, you know,
Yeah.
throughout their life.
But the worst thing is, it sounds like philosophy exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means, for you, the right way of raising someone is your way.
Yeah.
And for someone else, it's their way. And it's like,
Yes.
which way is the right way?
Exactly.
Right? Because for you, the way you do it is the right way.
Yeah, but this stresses me out even more.
Yeah.
Because we're in those times where everything is so easy for us. Social media, internet, you know, if I don't know something, Google, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's so easy to communicate with one another. It's so easy to get around. Now, back in the days, with philosophy, you know, in Greece or Rome, you know, philosophers from, you know, whatever year BC you want to name it, right? Oh, they never had a phone. They never had Google.
No.
They just sat there, let's say in the mountains, right, thinking.
I call them thinkers.
Yeah, and they were brilliant people, you know, because they would just look at the sky and just think purely straight from their head.
They try to make sense of every single situation in life.
Yeah.
Every principle, every law, every scenario, they make sense of it. They put it in their head, they think logically, they make sense out of it.
Yeah, and they've been doing it themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And those lessons are still very valuable today. So imagine smart people like this on a deathbed. They sometimes were sorry they couldn't navigate their kids better. People that are such thinkers, so wide knowledge, they sometimes struggled.
But do you also think because when they had their kids, right, they were wise, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But as they got older, they became even wiser, right? And maybe they just feel like they've learned so much more knowledge and they just...
Too much.
Yeah, too much to the point where they feel like they haven't passed on enough.
Yeah, because they can't pass everything.
Yeah.
And also, if you're a thinker, doesn't mean your child will be the same thinker, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's tough, but it does stress me out on a day-to-day basis because you can... If you're starting thinking seriously about family one day and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to have a son, I'm going to have a daughter, the values that you want to give them, they have to be correct because you will feel responsible if they fail.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, you know, sometimes they can bring it out from home, sometimes they won't, sometimes they'll just basically kind of their own paths. They will kind of learn, like, they will follow their own paths based on what they saw at home. So similar situations. Mm-hmm. You will still blame yourself because why wasn't I there to help them, support them? So it is a very big topic, and how to make it right.
Yeah. That's the thing is, it's interesting because it's a topic which we can't really talk much about.
No, because we don't know.
We don't know.
But this is why I respect a lot of mothers.
Yeah. Every
mother that stays at home and provides this primary education for a kid has my respect, because imagine they were probably stuck like us, you know, but they just have to get on with it.
Yeah.
Me and you, we can run away from it, to be fair. We'll be like, oh yeah, babe, I'm off to work.
Yeah, men can run away.
They can't run away.
A woman can't.
You know, I mean, my mum was with me all the time.
And like, it's such a cowardice thing to do, to run away, because I think every home needs both a feminine individual and a masculine individual.
100%. Yeah.
Because feminine individual, the mother, she will teach you the emotional stuff. And the masculine figure will let you go through the struggles. Yeah. Learn from it. Put you through difficult situations. 100%. Show you what life is really about.
Yeah. This is the compatibility I said about parents. You know, parents have to be compatible by both given the same the knowledge they can provide to stick to one. You know,
definitely.
You can't just you can't just raise your kid all emotionally without understanding the struggles, because they will fail in life. And on the other hand, you can't just show him all the struggle with no emotion, because you're going to have a little Lord Voldemort. Empathy, right? Yeah, a little Lord Voldemort running around, man.
Yeah.
So
it's such an interesting thing you've put, because I think in this day and age, when you mentioned a kid being raised just purely emotionally, I see that everywhere.
Yeah.
I see a lot of men being raised with such a high level of emotional, don't even know what to call it, but just
education, I guess.
A lot of emotional people, they get depressed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They get sad all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They get frustrated all the time. They can't control it.
Yeah,
it's like they've been missing that masculine figure in them, which knows how to deal with it, which knows that, oh, this is life. You have to get on with it.
Yeah,
you just have to do it.
Then imagine before war, before First World War or Second, men couldn't really say, "Oh, I'm depressed." They pick a gun and they go and fighting. They were just taught in struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's not good either.
It is not good. It's not good because
now it's because if you just taught the masculine side of it, and the masculine, like highly masculine thing is take care of others more than yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're just raised with the masculine features, what happens now? You don't care about your own happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You just care about everyone else, right?
Yeah.
So you also need that emotional side to have a little self-care as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Think about yourself a little bit, yeah.
Do you know what stresses me out a lot though? Yeah, is when I'm scrolling through social media, and I see something like a kid aged 10 jumped in a burning house of his, save his 4-year-old sister.
I love it.
Of course, I love it too, and I'm like, okay, respect to the kid, respect to the parents.
Definitely.
How the hell did you do that? How did you? Because it's not telling the kid, oh, if ever the house is burning, jump in.
No one told him, right?
How did you put mentality? Because that's both masculine and feminine.
But
it's emotion, it's care, and it's also masculine. Like I'm going for
courage, right?
Yeah, courage. I'm going for it. It's my duty of care. I'll burn myself, but she'll be safe.
But that just proves that who you become is not determined by your parents only.
Mm-hmm.
It's also determined by some aspect of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that kid made his own choice.
I think it's sometimes imagination that's heavily influencing you. It's crazy.
And you can see that across and across and across. You know that very well-known story about two brothers being born in a house of alcoholics. Where one became an alcoholic and one didn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
That story just proves that, yes, their parenting has an impact on it, but at the end of the day,
it's your choice.
It's your choice, right?
And both of them had the idea of the household, so it's still parent actually, but it is your choice.
But that also shows that you can't always just blame the parent.
No,
because parents, that's the thing. Parents are always the first one to be blamed.
Yeah.
People that are lucky, that have generally good kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
That naturally just good kids. They would be good kids anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are the first ones to blame parents that have bad kids.
Yeah.
And they always blame the parent. But it's not always your parenting.
No.
Like it also is the kid.
Yeah. And
the kid has its own logic, its own thinking. And you see this, I do believe that there are parents who try very hard, but a kid is just a little devil and just won't let it go.
And to be fair, it's not even themselves no more. It's the aspect of, okay, the kid's 5 years old now, 6 years old now. Mummy wants a little break from looking after the kid. Daddy wants a little break. So what they're going to do, here's a tablet for you. Do you know what I mean? What can you see?
It's fine. Right.
Okay, cool. So the kid is 5 years old. Daddy wants a break. Mummy wants a break. Here's a tablet. Social media, boom, done. YouTube kids, shut up.
But that's so bad. You know what happens then is because you disconnect yourself from the kid, and you're letting the kid process that entire situation by himself for too long. What do you think the kid is going to do? If you as parents, you give the kid a distraction, right? And the kid knows that you don't want to sit with him, right?
Yeah.
And the kid is there. Some kids will just generally get absorbed by it, but some won't. Some will sit and they'll overthink it. They'll be like, oh, my parents don't love me.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend time with me, right? And they will reinforce emotions in their own mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's often what I believe will probably create so much aggression.
Yeah.
And so much hatred for people.
Yeah. And they stop listening to parents as well, you know?
Yeah.
Because they feel disconnected. Imagine comparing it to, for example, a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put a dog in a room and be like, oh, there's a TV for you.
No.
Or like, you can give him a bone, but as soon as that bone's finished, you know, it actually, because bones are finished, so that's food, but give him a toy, like a nice toy, but he will get bored. He wants your attention.
He wants to play the toy with you.
Yeah, so because and dog doesn't have this problem of like, yeah, I'll nag him 24/7 because I want his attention. I don't care. Like we're either boys or not, we're either bros or not, you know.
Yeah, dogs are just
so they will
because dogs they don't
process it that you want to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, oh, he gave me a toy, yo, I love.
He's just gonna wait. Yeah,
and he's gonna.
Whereas
wait
a kid is gonna start making scenarios out in his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, raising children. Listen, I don't know.
I don't know.
Financially, I might know. Mentally, I might not. Do you know what? You can with raising kids, you can cover every single aspect.
I feel like I may not yet, but really soon be ready, and it's only because I am really pleased and happy with my own character that I've developed. Mm-hmm. Right? I know how I have myself chats with myself, and I know how critical of everything I am of everything that I do. Yeah. And I think I'm doing a relatively good job at becoming just a generally decent person. Mm-hmm. And I think because I've went through all these experiences, I think I would be ready. Maybe not yet, but very relatively soon. And I think you're doing a really good job as well.
Yeah. I think we're doing okay for. I think we're doing good for what we do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, let's not stress about it at the moment.
When the time comes, the time comes.
When a woman gets pregnant, we'll come back here.
You either stay or leave.
Yeah. The thing is, we're Polish, so we always have this choice of just give her a runner. Yeah. You know what I mean? But Ryanair's quite cheap, you know, but I'm straight to
Polish. The thing is, I can't do this. My faith? What?
Do you know what? It's not even about faith, you know, it's about me, you know, like it's my kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'll be vexed if the mother wants to hold him for too long. Like, do you know what I mean? Especially if it's a son. If it's a daughter, yeah, take her. Because I'm stressed about daughters even more. But
that's a different league. Yeah,
son.
Let's before we finish that topic. I wanted to add one more thing. I think I'm ready for raising a boy. I'm not ready for raising a girl. No way. I have no idea.
No clue.
But that's why it's important to pick the right partner.
Exactly, compatibility.
Because if you pick the right partner, they need to be well-rounded to be able to raise the daughter. You're there to raise the son. They're there to raise the daughter. Ultimately,
it doesn't work like that.
They have more experience, right?
You're gonna get hated for that.
They have more experience, right?
Yeah, but you're gonna get hated for that.
Just have daughters, and you'll be fine.
What? Oh my days!
But no, I think raising a son probably a lot more comfortable than raising a daughter.
But it's because as men, we're literally taught that like as soon as you hit that certain age, mate, you're alone. Go out, play football. Yeah. You'll be fine. For a daughter, you know, she'll be 18, comes back at 6 p.m. I'll be like, what time do you fucking call that? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's so hard.
And then I know my boys. I know what they used to do when we went out. Yeah. I know me when I used to go out.
Yeah, when I was 12, I know what I was doing when I was 12. Yeah. And I'm still here. Do you know what I mean? So I gotta give him that freedom. But I don't know what girls do at 12. They better be locked up in the bedroom or something. Yeah, because the girls I met when I was 12 and they were 12, they were a little bit dodgy. Yeah. I don't know where they are now. I don't want my daughter to be that way. So
let's finish it.
Yes.